Christina Hendricks. I played Joan Holloway. And this is Babylon that we're watching. This was one of the many auditions that I had during pilot season this year. And it was the first script that I got that I went, oh my God, I have to be in this show. And all the actors I knew who had gotten the script were talking about this script. I went in and auditioned for Joan, and my best friend helped me work on the lines, and I started crying before I went to the audition because I thought I was so frustrated because I loved the script so much and I didn't think I was doing anything with the role. And I said, I'm not doing anything. And my best friend said, this role is yours. You're nailing it. And I went in and auditioned, and they brought me back to audition for Midge. I felt actually much more confident about my audition for Midge, oddly enough. And then they brought me back again. I'm sure a lot of the actors have a similar story with Mad Men. We all auditioned for several roles before they settled into who we were going to play. But I knew that I wanted to play Joan. It just felt right for me. I'd never been able to play a character like that. Most of the work I've done, I always played this sort of sweet, innocent, goofy girl next door, the quirky friend. And for me to get to play Joan, who walks around with such sass in her pants, has been so much fun. It's the most unusual character I've ever played.
You're gonna break your neck.
It's funny because different people respond very differently to Joan. Some people go, God, I love your character. She's such a bitch. And some people say, I love your character. She's just so confident. And I'll say, sort of defensive, yeah, I know she's a bitch. And people will go, oh, I don't think so. I'm really surprised how different people see her in different ways. I like that.
Hi, I'm André Jacquemetton. I'm a writer-producer on the show Mad Men.
And I'm Maria Jacquemetton. I'm also a writer-producer on the show and Andre's writing partner and his wife. So most of the time what happens is we obviously come in with different ideas because we're two different people, but we talk them over together and we pretty much decide what to present when we're pitching as a unit. But when we're in the room, in the rewrite room, there's a lot of just sort of blurting out whatever you think. So you definitely get two different voices.
Basically, I make mistakes and Maria cleans up after me.
Well, I'm not going to argue that. What happened last season was that the writers all got together in the room as a group with Matt, and we spent about 6 weeks, the first 6 weeks, talking about the character arcs for the various people that occupy our world. We talked about the major storylines, which Matt actually had coming into season 1 already. He'd already established those in his mind. We pitched story ideas that would sort of fill in the blanks on each episode, at least for the first 6. And then we spent about a week, sometimes more, breaking each individual story for the first 6 episodes. And then at that point, Matt had us all assigned a script, and we went off and wrote together. André and I together, but, obviously the individual writers who write as one person had a script each. And then we came back with those drafts, and we got notes, and we did rewrites, and the rewrites continued until the point where your show was shot. And at that point, each writer peeled off to go and produce their episode. So that's sort of how it works in the beginning. And then as you get into production, we say that camera eats scripts because it does. All of a sudden you start out with 6 scripts going into the first couple of weeks, and suddenly, midway through your season, you're going, oh my God, we have a week to write the next episode. The room gets smaller. The number of individuals in the room gets smaller and smaller. And of course, you're always writing or breaking stories and just waiting for Matt, who's got so many other responsibilities as executive producer, to come in and give his approval or, make the changes that he wants made to the story. So the process kind of morphs as you go into the season and you get more and more busy.
I promise you bets.
This is an interesting scene.
This was the first scene that was actually written after the pilot by Matt.
He actually wrote it as an audition scene for January Jones. Because in the pilot, you don't meet Don's wife until the very last scene. So there really wasn't material for that character for the actress to read with. So Matt wrote this scene. It's a really amazing scene because what she's saying and what she's doing is she's basically giving you a lot of information about who she is as a person. I mean, Betty, she's obviously this absolutely beautiful woman. She's got this gorgeous husband who is great on paper. He looks like he's the dream come true. She lives in the suburbs, has a great house, children, the whole advertising American dream, essentially. But she's not really a fulfilled person or a complete person. She confesses to him that, that she lives for the moment when he comes home from work, and that those moments when she can be intimate with him are what she craves and really what she waits all day for. And just January and John both just did such an amazing job with this scene. We had to shoot it and shoot it and shoot it, and January was sick that day, and it was late into the night, and they both were just so amazingly professional and just really digging deep into their characters and just giving you what I think is a portrait of a relationship that's just really true and moving and realistic in a lot of ways. The writing is in the scene is just amazing too.
Yeah.
I mean, there were parts that we wanted, we thought, okay, we have to take it out for time, but it just really, it interrupted the flow and the potency of what was being said.
Culture has that, pygmies. Did you know Michelangelo was painting the Sistine ceiling when those people were still living in caves, discovering fire?
I didn't know that.
Well, it's true.
John Hamm is living the life. I think January is extraordinary in this scene. I think she's so sexy when she gives that monologue about waiting for him and her idle hands.
How are your studies progressing in that?
And the other thing we learned in the scene is never write a scene where a light has to be turned off on the set. Because it was there was so much setup involved in just that one moment where Don reaches over to turn the light off in terms of the tech, that pushed us way, way, way late into the night. And it's an amazing effect when you see it on screen, but when it's 2 a.m. and your producer's hanging over you going, come on, don't ever write these scenes again where they turn off lights. There it is, the infamous light
the dreaded
switch.
light.
But it's just, it's just beautiful. It adds so much in terms of ambiance and feeling to the scene. And that's one of the things that's just really fun about working on this show is Matt always emphasizes that he wants those little details of life to be in there so that you really, when you're watching it, you feel like you're in a real world. You're not watching a TV show about the 60s. Because usually, like you said, you're told, okay, anything that's not absolutely vital to the telling of the story, forget it. But once we wrapped our head around that, it definitely helped in terms of creating the world and writing an experience rather than just something that you sort of watch and can go get a bowl of popcorn and go do your dishes during, scenes and that kind of thing. You're interested and riveted, I think.
As we were filming the scenes with Joan and Peggy, trying to figure out the dynamic between the two of them. And one thing that Matt kept saying is, Joan is not jealous of Peggy. She's not jealous and she is not threatened. So when Peggy gets, promotions or some acknowledgement at work, that is not what is bothering Joan. What's bothering Joan is that Peggy's not listening to Joan when she gives what she thinks is the best advice that she can give, which is, as a woman in the workplace in 1960, if you want to have a long-lasting career and if you want to get noticed and maybe get some gifts from the men in the office, you dress a certain way, you take care of yourself. And the idea that Peggy wants to go and actually have a man's job and get acknowledged in that way is just absurd to her. She's just like, listen, child, you are going about this the wrong way. So it's not ever jealousy. It's a bit of frustration and sort of befuddlement, I think. Peggy is not the first new girl. She's the first new girl that we've watched. But Joan is used to a lot of girls coming in, and Joan says, do this, this, and this, and they do it. And therefore, that hierarchy of secretaries is established, and Joan feels very comfortable and confident, and she walks around that room with all her little hens in their cages and feels very good. And Peggy is just blowing her mind. She's like, you're not playing this game right. Don't you understand? You're supposed to listen to me. I'm the queen bee. It's very frustrating for Joan.
Maybe that is the wrong word. My English is not so good.
We actually have 2 advertising consultants, and it really helps us to get things right in the room in terms of research and in terms of setting up. For example, this is about Israel, and this was actually something Maria and I were very nervous about writing, just because it's a loaded subject, writing about Judaism, and but this really happened. There was a campaign trying to promote Israel. And these ad executives really helped us out, trying to put this campaign together.
Let's stay away from that.
It's interesting because Matt really wanted to do a show. This is one of the ideas that he came in with at the top of the season. He wanted Sterling Cooper to get the Israel tourism account. And he was really interested in portraying the attitude of Americans at that time towards Israel as a country and towards Jews. And at that time, there was sort of this love affair with the idea of a people that were displaced and that formed a nation. Well, at the same time, there was all this anti-Semitism going on within our society. So that was a really fun and challenging and interesting subject to write about for André and I.
Yeah.
We were nervous for a lot of reasons. I'm not Jewish. Andre's half Jewish. So, here we are, probably the only Christian writers on the set. And we're writing about Judaism, and how was that going to be perceived, and could we do it in a way that wasn't offensive, but yet that was true to the politically incorrect times. But we really enjoyed it, and it actually, I think, informs the love story between Don and Rachel that's developing on some really intense and deep levels.
Brings you below 59th Street.
Margaret, say hello. Hello.
Some subjects are touchier than others. Sexism certainly, as a woman, you would think it would be for me, but it's not. And I think in a lot of ways it's so much fun to talk about the way that women were treated before, we had any kind of equal rights. And by the way, I don't think that we've come all that far. So, so it's sort of,
We've veiled them, we've become politically correct. But I think the sentiments are just below the surface. I think that sexism and racism is very much, they're very much at the forefront still today.
Yeah, so in a way, it's nice that we can write about these subjects in a politically incorrect way, because it makes people think about them, okay, are we really, we can pat ourselves on the back, but really has anything changed that much?
Well, we do have these very authentic girdles underneath our dresses. We all have slightly different variations of them. For this scene, we wanted something really beautiful. I actually have a piece that Janie Bryant made for me that was a black strapless corset with gartered stockings and everything, which we ended up not seeing. We just saw the black slip, but it was incredibly sexy. And this dress, of course, is amazing, and this all had to be rigged that he could put his arms in it the right way, and that with all the choreography it would zip right, and the belt would tie, and the tie would tie at the right time, and all those little things are thought out.
You like the pearl necklace I gave you?
I love that pearl necklace line. It's so dirty. It happens so quickly and passes by, and I don't even know if most people hear it, but it's so naughty.
This scene was really fun for us. Up until this point in the season, we hadn't revealed that Roger and Joan were together. So this was sort of like the big revelation of their affair. And there'd been like a little tiny nod in the pilot where Roger and Don walk in at the very beginning when Peggy has just been hired, and Joan kind of goes, "Oh, Mr. Sterling," and kind of jerks her head a little and looks, which totally went over my head when I saw the pilot. But Matt wanted that little bit from the actress to show that these two were involved. But other than that, there was never any hint. So we had a lot of fun, writing these scenes, and the director, Andrew Bernstein, constructed this shot where she came out of the bathroom, and you thought at first that he was speaking to his wife really beautifully with that reveal. You just see that red hair, and oh, we know who that is.
John Slattery is one of the finest actors I've ever had a chance to work with, and this scene was so easy to do with him. As soon as that camera started rolling, I felt like I was in that hotel room with him, and that we'd been there a million times.
But I like hotels.
I hope that the audience sees this. It feels very comfortable to me. I think these two people look like they know each other and have been intimate, and there's a fun playfulness to them. And I like that you see Joan just be a girl for the first time and have a crush on a boy and be a bit of a softie. I've been asked the question about if Joan's really in love with Roger or what the relationship is, and this has clearly been going on for about a year, and the way that they touch and things, you can tell there's an intimacy and a true caring with one another. But I think Joan is incredibly protective and really knows where she stands. And so right now she's playing the power card. She's playing the jealousy. I have men over, I've got a roommate, I've got a fabulous life. Because she knows exactly what she's doing, and that's going to drive him a little bit crazy. I think she wants to keep him close, but she also knows not to let her heart get too far into it, because she's seen this before.
Just enjoy this.
I don't think Joan would be satisfied being a Mona or a Betty, but in the pilot, Joan does say, if you play your cards right, you won't be here in the office at all. You'll be out in the country in a house with a husband. And I think Joan wants that respect, that someone would want that from her. I just don't know if she's ready for it. And I think that is eventually her ultimate goal. But I think she's going to have a really good time and work it until then.
You know, we're constantly reading books, watching movies, reading periodicals, newspapers, anything we can get our hands on. We talk to people. We talk to our parents. I mean, you know, we are very much children of the '60s in the sense that's, you know, and you know, it's constant. Whoever we run into, we talk about.
Maybe we should try and exploit the danger instead of fighting it. Travel as adventure.
I love that Pete said that. That was sort of like, you know, the wink, wink, nod, nod. What a ridiculous idea. Yeah. Well, here we are now, you know, going to the world's most dangerous places on a regular basis.
Yes, this is the politically
incorrect discussion of what do
Israel.
Gentiles think of the Jewish homeland. There was a bit more discussion which was cut out just because it was just hitting it a little heavy. I think one of those situations where being unpolitically correct, we were like, that's a little too much.
Yes.
Except the Daughters of the American Revolution is shuttling this book up and down Fifth Avenue.
It's a good story. They start in these prison camps, like real prisoners. And the next thing you know, they're in the desert, armed to the...
Those guys are so funny and so dirty. And they all love each other so much, and everyone plays off each other in a way that is just... To just watch boys be boys was a privilege. I think they kind of think of me as one of the guys. They include me in that way.
They've got oranges.
As far as I can see, the biggest thing this place has going for it, the people are good looking. The Jews there don't look like the Jews here. Have you been to the Diamond District?
It's one of those lines where you cringe. Yes.
It's funny because the props in this scene, we had a hard time, unbelievably enough, finding photographs of Israel in 1962, the tourist photographs, that kind of thing. And there's one part where Paul holds up a coaster with a female Israeli military girl in it. And that was actually a set of coasters that belonged to Lisa Albert that she brought from home that her uncle or one of her relatives had brought back from Israel in the 60s. So we call from wherever we have to.
We get these scripts, and a lot of people ask us that question, like, what on earth is it like to be a woman on this set with all these horrific things being said and done to you? You become these characters, and it doesn't feel that weird when you read it after a while. In the very beginning, we went, oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe they're saying this. I can't believe they're doing this. And, you know, a couple scripts in, it just seems perfectly normal. And this cast and these writers and directors, we're sort of a dark bunch. We've got a dark sense of humor, so we get a real kick out of some of this absolute bizarre behavior. And some of these things just feel so naughty and so wrong that they can't help but be really fun to do. Because you don't get to do this stuff. And instead of being like, oh, we can't have that cigarette or we can't say that, the audience will go crazy. It's like, our audience is going to love this. This is awful. So we're lucky we get to push the envelope like that. And really, it's just history. It's not being made up. It's not inventing something. We're just showing how it was.
Well, we have just, you know, really a stellar art department and our costumers and our hair and makeup. Just the attention to detail and the amount of care and creativity that go into creating period accurate outfits, the set design, the makeup, the hair. It's really, I think, critical.
You know, our words are nothing without them. It's really a collaboration, And you're just seeing these costumes. I mean, these dresses. I mean, look at the undergarments that she's wearing. It's so period, and look at his pajamas, and it's just that whole world comes alive with them.
And I mean, in this scene, for example, it's amazing. She's this beautiful woman in this what wouldn't really be considered a sexy garment, but it is. It's got she's wearing a girdle because all the girls wear them on our show, because at the time, even if you were, obviously a svelte, January was a fashion model. I mean, doesn't need to be wearing these undergarments, but that was what you did during the time. They just look incredibly sexy.
Was he a good kisser?
And of course the
and
joke
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable, yes, it's true. But they what the actresses have said to me is that the minute they put that girdle on, it makes them stand straight. It makes them swing their hips. It's you carry yourself in a whole different way. We had a lot of fun with this scene, actually. This was here's Betty Draper, this gorgeous blonde woman undressing in front of her husband, and he has no interest in giving her what she wants because he's got his mind on another woman, and it's like, okay, do you really believe that he's going to say no to her? But they did it. They made it believable. Married sex, ho hum. I can have that anytime I want, so I'm not going to have it tonight.
The first couple episodes, I was not drinking any water on set because I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to use the bathroom, and it was just such a hassle. And I could not get those garters on when I first got in the day. I was like working up a sweat, reaching around the back with these rubber things and these little. And I'll tell you something, I am a whiz now. I can get in and out of that thing so fast. I'm like a superhero now. You get really used to it, which is, you would have to if you wore those things day in, day out. You would have to learn how to work around those things. You can breathe, although I have to say at the end of the day, after being in that for 15 hours, you peel that off and you put on your baggy holey jeans and your flip-flops, and it's like, I'm glad to be a woman in 2008 because this is fantastic.
And the smoking, the drinking, that's what they did.
Yeah,
everyone we spoke to,
everyone we've talked to said, the 2-martini lunch was every day and everybody smoked. And I mean, I'm not a spring chicken here, and I was a secretary during this, the 80s, and I just remember being in offices where people just smoked like chimneys, myself included. So to me, it's completely believable. The amount of drinking that went on, as André said, everyone that we've talked to from that period that was in advertising and also in other business environments said that was just completely accepted.
Yeah.
One of the ideas behind Freddie Rumsen is that he's an individual who's a functioning alcoholic, and that, this was not an uncommon occurrence. He's someone who, he's good at his job up to a level, but he's really leveled out. And part of it is because he drinks a lot, and, he's got the hangover and the DTs in the morning.
And look at Joan's dress. It's amazing.
Oh.
And I love that necklace with the pen. It's little touches like that. They're just so incredible, make the show so special.
Yeah, I remember when Joan came out on the set in that dress the first day we were shooting this scene, and Janie Bryant, our costume designer, we said, Janie, that is the best dress ever. She just looks so fabulous. And she said, I said to Joan, you are the tube of lipstick. And she really is. It's like you can't take your eyes off her in this scene.
She's so funny. She put me in that red dress, and she said, I love it because when you stand up, you look like a tube of lipstick, and when you bend over, your bum looks like a heart. She doesn't do anything without thinking about every single detail. This is one of my favorite scenes ever in Mad Men. I love the dynamic of the women on one side and the men on the other side of this two-way glass, or one-way glass, I guess they call it. This scene took a couple days to shoot. In fact, we were all joking. Elizabeth Moss and I were like, remember when we used to shoot other scenes? Because it just seemed like we were trapped in that room. And it went on and on and on, and I remember by the end of the second day, I was just giving a pep talk to all the girls before each take. I'd be like, all right, Team Lipstick, let's do it. Energy, excitement, because we were stuck in there with that cigarette smoke and pretending to be excited about those stupid lipsticks over and over and over and over. But all the girls were so fun, and, the guys were just saying such naughty, horrible things on the other side. When I received this script, it was the first episode that my character had a lot to do, and I was thrilled. And I just remember finishing the script with tears in my eyes and immediately calling Matt and saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." When I read this scene and Joan walks in front of this glass and bends over and then looks at the boys so demurely, I was like, I can't wait right here. And, of course, the guys were all teasing me on the other side. Michael Gladys over there giving me eyes and winking at me. I just wanted to play that so innocent, like, what? What do you mean? What did I do?
What's with mouse ears over there?
And I love Elizabeth in this scene. I love this shot, this slow motion shot with these girls and their lipstick and their tissues. Just like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm trying on lipstick. It's just so silly. And it's so glamorous. And then this slow motion shot of her blotting and slowly dropping the tissue into the wastebasket. You know, the scene went on forever and ever and ever. There's so many shots of lipsticks and things dropping and close-ups of this and that. But that's what makes the scene so special.
I think that this episode has a lot of fun in it. You know, there's a lot of sort of lightness in there, which balances out the kind of heavy subject matter with Israel and the affair. I love this shot. This is like the signature shot of the show from the pilot, and it's in this episode. It's in a couple of episodes, just those shoulders and that head. And So this scene we agonized over. It was it was a really difficult scene to write, and a lot of passes of ours and Matt over us, and just really getting it right, getting the emotion underneath what they're saying correct.
Yeah, it's so emotionally charged. So much needs to be said, and you really can't say it.
Well, the set being so authentic and every prop being completely accurate. It's the same as this wardrobe being so accurate. The second you're on that set, it puts you in character. It's really fun for us, like, you know, sometimes we'll be in the cafeteria room, and there was a scene where we were all looking at a cookbook, and it was the grossest, like, open can of Jell-O, insert toothpicks, add mayonnaise. I mean, it was just like, and it was like, how to entertain your friends. If your husband brings home the boss last minute, how will you impress? Open up crab dip, add, you know, I mean, it's just the grossest, unhealthy things. So it's fun to just go back in this world, and that was, you know, a very elegant evening.
They've kissed. He's told her he's married. She said, I want nothing to do with it. He's really just using the fact that he's got this account to get close to her.
But then she's talking about Israel, and she's really talking about their relationship.
He genuinely does want to understand what it means to be, you know, to be Jewish and to be different, and why is this in the way of their, you know, progressing. You know, you can tell they really want each other, but they can't act on it. She's got her barrier up.
Talking about a love in exile, about Babylon.
Definitely Zionist.
Zion just means Israel. It's a very old name.
This was a scene that we had to do a lot of research, a lot of talking to people who, you know, had been to Israel, people that, you know, that kind of had firsthand experience. I've never been to Israel, and, you know, I certainly, I've learned about the Jewish struggle and, you know, the establishment of the homeland and all of these things in my lifetime, but I don't pretend to be an expert on it. So it was interesting to write it, you know, to approach the scene from the standpoint of wanting to really learn about these things, you know, and yet keep it sort of time sensitive, because people didn't know a lot about Israel, and, you know, the war was just over, and, you know, we're obviously a lot more well informed on the subject now.
Yeah.
For a long time. First in Babylon, then all over the world. Shanghai.
She just looks fabulous.
Yes.
Look at her. She's just, you know, the hair and the red, and Just
and that cigarette.
Yeah, just the attention to detail. And a lot of that the actors bring to the part. The way that they smoke is different than they smoke contemporarily.
No, individuals are wonderful.
It's amazing, too, how many people have said to us, at least to me, maybe it's because I'm a woman, is how much they love the character of Rachel. It's just unprompted. I love Rachel. She's great. She's her own person, and she's making it in the man's world, and she stands up to Don. And
she's very contemporary.
Yeah.
In a way.
From Russia, now we have a store on Fifth Avenue.
She's definitely ahead of her time in a way.
Some people watch it and they say, oh, well, it's to the point of almost absurdity how much they're smoking. But every single person who lived through it says it's accurate. And all of our writers, and Matt, I'm sure, has told this story, but, he has a picture of his mother bathing him in the bathtub with a cigarette in her hand. People smoked. They smoked all the time. No one thought it was inappropriate to give your little kid a bath and not have a cigarette there. It was not a taboo. We're so anti-smoking, we know how bad it is for us. So it's hard to watch. It really is hard to watch, but, these people also, they're in social atmospheres right now. They sit down, they order a drink, and they have a cigarette, which a lot of people still do at a party or something, and that was just something you did as a social, and not even social, at work. Ashtrays all over Sterling Cooper, full ashtrays. Smells like hell in there. It really does. Because we smoke the herbal cigarettes, which, if you can believe it, smell worse than real cigarettes. They just are really intense. And when you have to come into work at 5 in the morning and be on set around that, you can get really nauseous really quickly, especially if some of my scenes I'm having to light a cigarette as part of the action in the scene. And herbal cigarettes don't light as easy and don't stay lit as easy, so you have to puff and puff on them. And you have to do it consistently at the same time in each take. And I'll tell you something, it will make you so sick. I learned very quickly to try and make Joan always putting the cigarette out or just taking it out of the pack so that she wasn't actually smoking it.
I didn't get the one I liked. Someone took my color.
I had a real tough time with the hairstyles in the beginning, and Gloria, who did my hair, will joke about how I would be like, please don't make me look like my grandma. Please don't I love my grandma, and my grandma's sharp. But I just felt like it aged me so much. And when I meet people in person, they're surprised when they meet me. They're like, you look like a baby compared to how you look on TV. Because we're used to seeing our mothers and our grandmothers dressed like this, not people of our own generation. So I really do think it ages us. But I also think it's elegant.
In doing research for this time period, and also having grown up during the 60s, a lot of the political, stance of people, the social attitudes of men and women in the 60s are sort of very similar to what's going on today. I mean, obviously then it was World War II. We were coming out of a war. There was consumerism on the rise. There was the presentation of the American dream. Women had been sort of forced back into the home largely by advertising, telling you, the perfect housewife should, live in her mansion and have her children and, cook dinner in a dress with a crinoline skirt, which was certainly not the case during World War II. The men were all gone to war and the women had to step in and do jobs. And there were women in business and women in the factories, which everyone knows about, and, women journalists. And those women kind of disappeared from the forefront as the 60s became about men coming home and men taking their jobs back and women sort of being put back into the role of the homemaker, the whole feminine mystique. So I think that, in a lot of ways that's sort of, those attitudes are kind of similar today. I mean, I talk to young women and it's upsetting to me sometimes how many of them just, they want to stay home and raise their children and they don't care so much about having a career, and they've seen their mothers, women of my generation who have fought really hard and tried to make inroads and have something for themselves. Not that I'm, diminishing raising children. I have 2 children and I'm proud of being a mother. But, at the end of the day, who are you as a person and what do you have for yourself? And I think that I see young women sort of stepping back into that role now, and it's scary how similar it was to then. In terms of, working in an office and human nature and office politics, that stuff never changes. So, a lot of what goes on, the interpersonal, the relationships and the goings-on between the workers and Sterling Cooper, while, they may dress 1962 and they may, use the language that's specific to the time, it's a lot of the same office hijinks that go on today.
And I'll give you another example of how this show resonates. It's called Babylon, and this takes place during the Cold War, and you look at today, Babylon is a city that's just 50 miles of what is now called Baghdad, and it's going on today. Baghdad is an amazing city. It's it was created 3,000 years before Christ, and people fought over it. The Persians, the Greeks, Alexander the Great conquered that city, and by 200 BC, everyone had picked up and left that city. There was so much turmoil, and that's why we called it Babylon in a sense, is because here you have these characters, these hearts that are in turmoil, and will they be able to survive? Babylon now is in ruins, and will these hearts be left in ruins? Stay tuned.
I don't understand. They want me to write something?
Joan walks around like she knows everybody's watching her, which I think is funny. I think she always knows that someone's got an eye on her. I hope people want to walk like Joan. She walks around with so much confidence.
Do I get a raise? No.
The pilot, I was wearing a green dress that was so tight that if you watch it, you can see the actual sound wire going down the front of my dress. There was no room for anything to be hidden in that dress. It just made you walk a certain way. And it was really funny because it didn't even happen until the first take. The first scene, I'm walking Elizabeth Moss around the office and telling her where everything is and who everyone is, and my arms are held really weird, and I've got this swagger, and my voice changed. I didn't know it was happening until after the first take, and I thought, ooh, that felt good. That felt like Joan. That was the first time I really felt Joan. And it didn't happen until the first take, and then it just stuck. As soon as I do it, I feel like her, because I certainly do not walk like that in real life. Trust me.
That's what I get for being domestic.
Elizabeth Moss is amazing to work with because she's been working since she was a little girl. I mean, she's a real pro. She's really young, and she's one of the most professional actresses I've ever worked with. She's fun, and she's sassy, and we tease each other a lot on set, and we joked because all of our scenes were together in the beginning that we were each other's shadow. Even when we went out socially outside of work, if one of us went to the bathroom, the other one would decide to go too. We were like inseparable. We were like, well, if you're going to do it, I'm going to do it. I really just love her. She feels like a sister to me. I'm really crazy about her. She's incredibly talented. She has a way of doing such subtle things in such an earnest way that I don't think a lot of people could pull off.
We had fun writing this stuff, too. This Midge is such a great character. Again, a woman ahead of her time. She lives by her own rules. She has men come and go, lots of men. She makes the choices. She calls the shots.
I'll wear a skirt and nothing else.
I'll go. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm going.
really.
I was watching some of the new shows that are out this season. I turned to my boyfriend and I said, I am so lucky to work on a show where the dialogue is not rushed and you get the moments where they're listening to one another. I was watching a show and they were racing through this dialogue just to get through it. And I've been on shows like that where they're like, pace, keep up the pace, keep up the pace. And there's nothing real about it. And to me, there's nothing interesting about that. And in Mad Men, some of these scenes are incredibly long scenes, but they're real and they develop these relationships, and it's the moments where people are listening to each other where it reveals who they really are.
One of the things that I really love about this episode is that there's this sort of underlying theme of love. There's married love, which doesn't looks okay, but kind of sedate. And then there's
pain.
There's forbidden love with Dawn and Rachel, and will they, won't they, and then
love is so complicated.
Yeah, and then there's these two, Roger and Joan, who they're like devouring each other. Essentially, they're so in the moment, and yet there's the wonderful ending in the show where they leave separately. They can't carry their love out into the world. It's tragic. It's tragic that love is pain, essentially. And that's one of the things that I think is so powerful about the series, because in Mad Men, the world, it's beautiful and it's rich and it's funny, and we tackle subject matter that probably couldn't tackle in many other shows because it is in the past, and you are benefited by by the buffer of distance. But no matter how fun and racy it is, there's this like melancholy underneath it, which I think, to me, really resonates for that time period. It was a time when we were at our best, where America was a nation that was looking forward and we were going to be doing great things, but
and yet there was this cold
social unrest was it was underneath the surface, just bubbling there. So this Beatnik Club, we looked at about 20 locations for this club. We could not find a place that fit what Matt was really looking for. He really wanted like a brick wall basement club where beatniks got together and had these impromptu coffee houses. So we finally ended up finding a warehouse, and Dan Bishop and the art department, who are just phenomenally talented, constructed this entire underground club in this warehouse. In fact, I'm pretty sure I recall being told at one point that was part of the reason why the show was shooting in L.A., because New York, although it's the show set in New York, so much of New York has been remodeled and done over that it doesn't look like New York anymore in the 60s. But downtown L.A., there are still buildings from that time period that have not been touched, at least the facades.
Take up residence in Rye, New York.
And I love the lines in this scene. I mean, the banter between Don and this beatnik guy. I think he says, like, how do you sleep at night? And he says, like, on a bed full of money or something. And it's just so fantastic. And I think he says this is the birthplace of mediocrity or something. And they're just really shooting each other back and forth. And
a bed made of money.
And this scene is shot beautifully. Midge is being fought over by two men, two very sexy men. Of course she's loving this. And I love that Don's so confident, but you can tell he's a little threatened. He's having to fight back. There's definitely a cockfight going on.
You spent more time on your hair this morning than she did.
This scene was a lot of fun to write.
Yeah, it was. Although it took a few days to get over that smoke.
Yeah, that was pretty nasty in there.
It really was.
What'd you do?
I'm starting a theater. Right here in the village, it's a cooperative. Midge is gonna get in there, paint some flats.
I just love the way Midge, Rosemary DeWitt, who plays Midge, is just playing with these two men. It's just so much fun. She's just loving it.
I take responsibility for the bad poetry.
Yeah, this
I
is
really
Andre's
have a gift
poem.
for it. It's a poem about Castro, and I think Castro, who just stepped down, basically because of this poetry.
Take off your shirt.
And then even, as they're taking this all so seriously in their poetry, they're still like, take off your top. And she does it.
I should go. Too much art for me.
Stay. This is Ian.
And this montage at the end with this song, I think, is so beautiful. The scene with, I love that shot through the arm. And then there's this shot of Betty putting lipstick on her daughter. That is just magnificent.
The song was like stuck in our heads for months.
I know.
It's a beautiful song.
Yeah. It's the Jews on the banks of the Tigris-Euphrates River, looking towards the Holy Land, and here they are in exile, writing from Babylon, singing about Zion, Israel. Yeah.
This sequence is just beautiful. It was written like this. Actually, Matt had the idea for it. He had the song. He had picked out the song, and he pitched out in the room what the sequence would be. With the song playing over it, and the ending of the show, he always knew that was, that's where he wanted to go, with the two of them walking out, Roger and Joan walking out to the street, and that almost like Edward Hopper-esque, image of the two standing apart, and just to fade to the sound of the traffic.
Well, here again, it's all these hearts in turmoil, and this beautiful song about wanting to come back to the promised land. It's funny because, again, Babylon, in 1985, Saddam Hussein tried to build a palace on top of the ruins of Babylon. And fortunately or unfortunately, the Gulf War stopped that. And now, from what I understand, they're about to build a mall and a theme park next to Babylon. Which sort
poetic
of
justice.
Poetic justice. And, it's funny because here we are talking about the golden age of advertising and the birth of big media. And here we go. Big media coming to Babylon, with their multiplex. The great irony. Babylon conquered once again.
This episode, a lot of people say to me, is one of their favorites. I just think it's such an amazing blending of all the worlds, and really defining a lot of relationships that we haven't seen defined yet in up to this point. And I think it's just done beautifully and directed beautifully. And to me, it stood out as one of the first episodes that I thought, okay, this is really Mad Men.